Show you. All right.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the Hot Pass Podcast, Friday morning betting show. This is the first time that we have a guest. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's Ryan Stevens with Win the Race. So I'm glad to be here. It's cool. I'm the first guest. I didn't know that. So
Oh,
let's get
a
this.
little clap for the
Yeah,
boys.
get this kicked off.
What craziest part is, didn't even know your name was Ryan. Just win the race.
Oh, there we go. I like that. Yeah, I used to because I only played DFS for so long, and
Mhm.
my middle name is Han, and so I'd always go by Han Yolo. So my
Your
it's my
middle.
mom's maiden
Okay,
name.
wait a minute. All right. Before we get into the Friday morning betting show, um, how the fuck did you get the name Han?
That's my mom's maiden name. So yeah,
That's a
that's my middle name. So it's Hahn. But I always everyone only knew me as Han Yolo. So they were just
That's
like
sweet.
Han Yolo, yeah.
That's so good, dude.
So finally I'm like, no, that's Ryan Stevens. I just, came out to everybody. Here's my real name.
Coming
And
right
then
out of the
now and then
closet with
started the
Han, yo.
website. So yeah.
All right. So guys, make sure to follow him at Win the Race. I think it's at Win the Race P1 on X, right?
Yeah, Win the Race P1. Win the Race is one of those accounts that hasn't Elon came in, he's like, I'm gonna clear all these accounts that are dead. This account had one post 10 years ago, and I emailed about it and they won't take it down. So I had to add the P1 at the end of it.
So all right. So at Win the Race P1 on X. Is it anywhere else other than wintherace.info?
No,
That's
super
everything
almost
else?
40 years old. Yeah, I got one social account. That's
No,
all
no,
I've
yeah, no
handled.
Instagram. All right.
Yeah.
So make sure to follow the Hot Pass podcast on all social media, YouTube, fucking Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and then obviously at Furlong Eric _ on all social media. All right. This is the Friday morning betting show. This is going to be a crazy one because the odds absolutely suck this week. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to break down the trucks and Xfinity and Cup. We're going to end with Cup. If you don't know, I don't know if you've listened to my Friday morning betting show yet, Ryan, but we start off with the trucks. We go with head to heads. We go to positional or groups or whatever, and then we go to our outright picks. And then same with everything else.
Yeah.
The truck series is going to be extremely interesting. If we have I got odds on my phone here. At this point, I feel like the favorite every week is going to be definitely Corey Heim. But there's weeks, it's just like Kyle Busch. You can't be taken on, I think on Bet365 right now is what I've got pulled up on my phone is plus 140. Take anybody else than that. That's insane, I feel like. What's your opinion?
Yeah, that's just too low. You don't know what could happen in qualifying or anything like that. So it's even if something happens in qualifying, he's coming from the rear and you still like him, he's probably not going to be much better than 150, but he'll be 350, 450 maybe. To me, there's just no point. So if he comes out and qualifies at the pole, are they really going to make him even money? I think he'll still be around the 150. So I just don't really
That's the
see the
thing.
point in taking
It's
him
like
right
even if
now.
Kyle Busch was to qualify last place, if it gets in the wall, it's insane. Even Kyle Larson, if he starts from the rear in the Cup Series, it's the exact same thing. I feel like it's going to be the same thing in Portland with AJ Allmendinger and SVG. It's just they're so dominant on certain tracks, on a weekly basis, that they don't move the lines very much, right? No matter what. And Tricon with Corey Heim and all the other guys, they don't qualify well. It's like I feel like they've got a truck set up for.
I was just
later
about to
on
say that. We've seen Heim win a million times starting 12th.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he started 12th, is he going to be plus 150? Maybe, but it'll probably be a little bit better.
Yeah. So have you? All right. I want to break. What do you have pulled up? Do you have Caesars pulled up?
Yeah, I pulled up Caesars.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up on my phone too as well. I'm just gonna so then we can go off the same stuff here because I ain't got nothing. And they've got Chase Purdy in a matchup as a favorite, and I'm sitting here going, he does really good here. Does pop up every once in a blue moon. What? Okay.
Yeah.
So have you seen any matchups that you like in the Truck Series on Caesars this week?
No, I looked through them too, and there are some interesting things. So Stuart Friesen, I think is top 5 to every single race here, at least the last 3 in a row or whatever.
Yeah, man.
He's
I was looking at
he's
him too, and the books have figured that guy out definitely with outright market.
yeah, he's plus 100 to Taylor Gray. So I'm gonna pull up my true performance ranks here too, and my pre-practice and qualifying stuff I got in here. So I do have Gray higher than him, but barely. And then when you look at the track history, obviously Friesen has him beat. The one thing I worry about with Friesen is Friesen even said in an interview, like after this last season, they kind of redid their entire team, like their whole squad, like a whole makeover of everything. And I
Yeah.
think to start the year, it was kind of struggling, but he seems to be running a little better now.
Yeah,
Kind of like
slowly
Grant.
figuring out. Didn't he finish after Corey Heim ended up getting disqualified? He finished second last week or something?
Oh, he might have. I know he was up there, and he's like in the top 10 quite a bit now. And another guy
Yeah.
who seems to have figured it out is Grant Enfinger. Like joins his new team this
What the
year.
hell did you just call him?
Enfinger? Did I say
You just
Enfinger?
call him Enfinger.
Enfinger? Enfinger. Grant
The
Enfinger.
disrespect
So
on
he,
his name, huh?
yeah, no. My son's name is Grant too, so we always say
Okay, all right.
do it
Just
for the namesake. But yeah, I won't butcher that again. But that's another one who obviously was strong here last year. But I remember coming into last year, I won the Grant Enfinger bet and I won Kyle Busch bet. The
so
thing
did
I
I.
noticed,
Boys, we're killing it
yeah.
at Gateway.
So like one thing I noticed was GMS dominated here. Like even
Mhm,
before, Grant, like all the other GMS cars were great here.
mhm.
Or trucks, I should say. So that was one reason I was on him. But now like you see how strong he was. And then this team's really coming on too. Like that team has found some speed now as well. So I think Grant could be back in the mix this week.
That's
And then
same thing. That's what I was thinking about as well. Was I was going to take that Stuart Friesen over Taylor Gray. Seems like Taylor Gray started off this like the season really really strong, and I think everybody and their mother was behind him, backing him, and then all of a
oh
sudden the last couple of weeks just they have lost it, man.
yeah.
So
He's
I'm
it
really
seems
thinking
like I don't know if they're focusing more on Xfinity now or what, since he's running there all the time, or what's going on, but it's kind of fallen off in the truck series a little bit.
our brains are completely matched up. That's exactly the first thing when I saw that line today with Stuart Friesen and Taylor Gray. I took a look at it and went, "Do you really think that?" I really think that he is just totally moved on. Not 100% moved on, but he's been running pretty damn good on a consistent basis in Xfinity. That he's maybe like, you know what, I'd rather be driving there. Let's just try and get some top tens. I'm not too worried about a championship. Maybe he's got a Joe Gibbs thing going on in the future.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye. So I haven't bet it yet, just full honesty here, but
Yeah.
it's one that I'm looking at. I don't really see the line is going to swing that much here. The Grant one I brought up too because he's against Majeski, who every time
Oh.
I know you're anti Majeski right now, so he is. But
Woo!
so
I got the
so
Majeski fans all over my booty cheeks on Twitter, dude.
yeah,
Woo!
I know. And so Grant's plus 130 against Majeski. And it's like, well, this guy is showing a lot of speed now. He won the race. Majeski just can't seem to figure it out. As the race goes on, the team just makes mistake after mistake after mistake, or he does. Just somebody fucks up, and then they end up way further back than they should be. So
Where was it that they said he's doing like Majeski's doing the engineering on the cars or on the trucks? And I
I
went,
didn't know that.
yeah, he said it in a post interview or something like that. And I went, okay, I'm not putting my fucking money on him. And then I ended up betting. I did the fucking truck lift they say on the NASCAR gambling podcast. Took him and I North Wilkesboro. I'm like, this is his bread and butter. This is the last time I'm taking him. If that, I fade him for the rest of my life until he figures it out. So I think to conclude the race matchups, I'm taking that Stuart Friesen. I'm taking that Grant Enfinger.
Yeah,
1,000%.
I think it's smart. Even when Grant ran, so well, I'll get into another deep sleeper I like here too. Um, but so this kind of ties right into it because Grant used to run with ThorSport back in the day.
Right.
ThorSport comes correct here at Gateway. Uh, back in the day, Grant Enfinger, he qualified in the pole, qualified second. In one race, he finished first in both stages. He ended up coming in sixth, but still strong runs with ThorSport. I bring that up because my deep sleeper of the week, and I already butchered one name. Let me see if I can butcher another one. Luke Fenhouse. So Fenhouse is a not to win, like he's 100 to 1 to win. I guess
Wait
you
a
can bet
minute.
if you want to go a little
Who,
crazy.
who the fuck is this? Wait a minute. Let me pull this up.
So Luke
Luke
Fenhouse,
Fenhouse. Who the fuck is that?
young dude running in Oh shit, his top five's been slashed down to 10-1.
What was he
So
sitting at?
15 or 16.
Ooh,
So we can search around and see what we could find there. But if he's at 15-1, I put it in
he's
Discord. I probably shouldn't have.
he's
Now it's
14 to 1
down.
on Bet 365 currently, guys. So if you guys want to take this crazy, what's he driving? The 66?
Yeah, so he's in a Thor sport. And so I bring it up because even like when Johnny Sauter would run in the Thor sport, which was at that point, he's not a full-time Thor sport driver. They would just bring the
Mm-hmm.
13 in. He top five both races. So they and I just mentioned what Grant used to do with them. Eckes obviously has been great with them. Rhodes has the top five here. I mean, they Crafton has the top five here. Thorsport can get it done here. So the reason I like Fenhouse is because you have all these other guys coming in and racing, and you look at like their ARCA stats and things like that, and they don't win. They just come in like third to fifth. They're good.
Yeah.
Fenhouse actually wins. He's like got multiple wins at Iowa, which is another shorter track like this, and
So
it's like
so I'm only new into the truck series over the last couple of years. So and if nobody knows who this is, they're just new to that. Like, has he's one of those old boys, like a Johnny Sauter type?
no, he's here. I'll pull him up right now and show you. He was born in 2004.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah,
young buck,
that's what I mean. He's a
fucking
kid.
20 years old.
So yeah, but what I like about the kid is like you look at 2023, Arca's got 3 wins I'm looking at right here. And like I said, 2 of them in Iowa, which I don't know, we haven't seen a lot of Iowa. I don't know if you can compare it to here, but I know it's one that the Cup Series is going to run their short track package on. So I imagine it's a
Right.
shorter, flatter track from what I've looked at. And that's how we plan on comping it when we get there in the Cup Series. So if he's winning at tracks like that, going to get a Thor Sport, maybe they give him like the juiced up Johnny Sauter ride. Like, hey, we're going to look at this young stud. Look at like what Caden Honeycutt's doing in that niche truck. I mean, you put a stud behind the wheel of these trucks and they can top five. So how maybe Connor Jones sucks. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, so
See,
that
this
that
is
could
the
be the
thing is I've
thing.
tried to explain to people for a while on the podcast is if they're new to this, yeah, a car can run like dog shit every week. And then all of a sudden you get, I think the prime example was Carson Hocevar hopping in the 7 at this race last year when Corey LaJoy hopped into the 9 while Chase Elliott was injured. And all of a sudden that piece of shit car just becomes a good car. And people have a hard time being able to understand that. With just absolute feel of the car, being able to describe what's going on in the car. And it's like, if this kid can do that, I think he can be
Yeah.
just like a Caden Honeycutt, and so we'll see, right? And it's worth the
Yeah,
long
it's
shot
just
number.
I could be dead wrong, but it's
Yeah,
something that definitely popped out to me because I just pulled up Connor Jones just to confirm he has no wins in the lower series. Like I'm looking now,
yeah,
there's no ARCA wins, there's no nothing. So like it takes no matter what level you're at, it takes such skill to be able to win a race at that level once you hit that ARCA level.
right.
And like look at what Jesse Love did, and now look what he's doing in Xfinity. It was just seamless. He comes in and he's running great. He won all the time in ARCA, and that's just
Oh,
because he's a stud.
yeah,
So we're talking 3 wins for Fenhouse last year. Like he gets it. So I think he can wheel it. And again, I could be way wrong, but if you find that like 14, 15-1, that's
yeah,
worth a top 5 flyer.
yeah. I'm looking at that right now on Bet 365 for you guys. I'm gonna take that. Now,
Should.
guys, don't be betting your life savings on it. Just nice little sprinkle, a little cheese, a little Parmesan on there, right?
Yeah.
And then it could help you out throughout the whole day. It was like me calling out, I think it was 18 to 1 for Caden Honeycutt for a top 5 at Kansas. And I was like, oh, this is easy all day, baby. All day. Like,
Mhm.
so it could either be an absolute disaster or or it could hit and you're having a great day. So I think I like that play. I think everything else in the top 5 market, I'm just gonna wait because of like Grant Enfinger. I think one guy is like Grant Enfinger qualifies kind of bad. I
Yeah.
want to see his speed, but I would like a plus money. That I think on Bet 365 at least he's a minus 120. No, not taking it. So
No,
I,
I wouldn't either.
I don't see very like anything else like kind of like I guess let's go to the outright and then we'll move on to Xfinity. But is there anything in the outright market? Because I feel like they've kind of across all 3 series, they've kind of fucked up a lot of things. Definitely a gateway if for the truck series and cup. Like it is tough. slim pickings this week.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I would almost rather take the Eckes top 3 at plus 125, or if you can find it better than taking the Heim winner at this point.
Yeah,
Because like,
yeah,
I
I
have him
like
way
that.
ahead of everybody else.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like I feel like at this point, if you get anything close, I'll even pay the juice on him for a top 5. Like if I could get a minus 140, I think at some point I saw he's minus 180 now on bet 365. But if you ever could get him at like a minus 120, a minus 140 for a top 5, he's going to
Yeah,
be driving there all day. Like it's the only thing that could happen is like, he
some
gets
bullshit.
yeah, the bullshit. He
Yeah,
has to pit or whatever, and he's going to come drive through the field and he gets caught up in something. But 90% of the time, he's going to be in the top 5 every week.
yeah. Our number one bet in the Sim Center right now. So I don't know if you know, we sim races over 10,000 times, and it has our input goes into it, and then Joe created this. He has his company Speed Geeks that works with WinTheRace, and we
Okay.
put all the simulations on the website. Um, so we have the Christian Eckes top 3 at plus 125 as the best bet on the board as far as value. We have it fair at minus 108. So I would. This is so. What sucks is we took Heim at the same number last week. They fucked up and put 125 out there, and then he gets DQ'd, so they didn't pay out. So that was brutal. But just tack that on to the list of late race tragedy in 2024.
See it. You and I mean, and I feel like a lot of people, but you and I have messaged each other a lot or like tweeted at each other, like, oh God, like the late race restarts have been murdering us. And I've talked about on the
Yeah.
podcast a lot is like these late race restarts do not help. And I think I've only came out on top one time this year. And I was like praying I can't remember what race it was, but I was praying to God, like, okay, I'm done at losing money. Please, for the love of God, just be on my side one time, dude. I don't believe
Mhm.
in you, but if you're here, I'll
That's
be a
what I thought
believer.
when the race ended and Heim was top 3. I was like, "Oh, I did it. I did it." And then of course, like, no,
I
it
did.
couldn't be that easy. No,
You
of
can
course
never
you couldn't.
celebrate too early, dude. Like
Yeah, no.
at this
So
point,
I
it's like,
think
oh,
I think I'll bet this Eckes top 3. So that'll be my first bet placed of the weekend. Eckes plus 125 top 3.
I like that. They've been really good at these like shorter like or flatter tracks too, right? Like Eckes has kind of showed up everywhere. He's been very consistent inside the top 5. I can't see him like not finishing outside the top 3.
Yeah, what's cool about this is, like, we're not looking at a different package like we are for the, uh, the Cup Series.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like, for the Cup Series, I didn't look too much at the short flats, only because it's
Right.
just a totally different package and there's a lot of splits there.
Right.
This, though, I do have time, like so I keep the same tracks I use in my true performance ranks between Cup and Trucks and Xfinity. So for Trucks, in the intermediate package, which it's all the same package, but those races. I have Heim just above Eckes, but when you look at just specifically the short flats, I have Eckes just above Heim.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like if you wanted to take Eckes to win too, I couldn't argue against it. Because here's someone who does qualify in the poll all the fucking time.
All the
So if
time. And
he's
that number is
yeah,
coming down, dude.
yeah, if he's 4-1, he goes out there and pulls it like he always does, then you are looking at 150 for him as well. So yeah, I mean, if you want to play a little safer, you do the 125 top 3, and if you want to try to get a winner, yeah, you can take Eckes over Heim here, and Heim is so freaking good, but I can't argue against Eckes on a shorter flat track.
All right. So my picks that I'm going to be taking is that Stuart Friesen over who the hell was it? Tay Gray
Yeah,
on Caesars. Then it was Grant Enfinger over Ty Majeski. I'm fading personally Ty Majeski until I see a glimmer of hope. I didn't even see him in the race at Charlotte when I was there last week. I was like, oh, irrelevant. And then you gave out what the hell is his name? Fenhouse?
yeah, Luke Fenhouse. That's
Luke
the longer
Fenhouse.
shot of the week.
Yeah, long shot of the week, Luke Fenhouse on Bet 365 right now. He's 14-1. I'm going to sprinkle on it and ride with the
Yeah,
boy. And then Ryan has also got Christian Eckes plus 125, or I got plus 120. Basically wherever for Christian Eckes top 3. I like those plays. And then yeah, outright, I'm taking Christian Eckes too, just because it's a longer number between the two of Corey Heim and Christian Eckes.
yeah, I think that's a good start to the card, and you could see, as we see practice and qualifying, maybe someone surprises with a lot of speed, but it's Hyman Eckes until we see otherwise.
Yeah, I was gonna take Raja, but his performances there, I called it out on my social media, and then I went, oh wait a minute, put it on the back burner until we see something because he is
I
not
liked
good
that
here.
you hit him. You were on it at the right time. You hit it at the perfect time to start the year. That was a big one.
Oh, live, I was there too. I was fucking losing my mind. I finally got to tell Bubba this past week in Charlotte that I hit him 75-1. He's like, what? How much did that win you? I
Yeah,
went about like 5 G's. He goes, what? He like stands up, comes around the table, like hugs me. He's
yeah,
like, God damn, dude. I was like, oh, that was the best feeling ever
yeah.
to
That's
hit that.
awesome.
Oh my God. All right. Let's go to the AJ Allmendinger and SVG show in Portland. And do you have anything other than those two little shits in the colleague cars?
Let me pull that up here. I'm just going to this stupid area on Caesars where you got to click the race so I can see all the odds here.
Because I've been
Um,
sitting here trying to figure out, can I trust a colleague car, even though these two guys are in it? They're not
yeah.
chasing trophies and cup. And these cars, I think I put AJ Allmendinger. He was running top 5. I think it was at Kansas or something, like all day or whatever. And then the car just has issues after stage 2. So
Oh yeah. It's been rough for them. There are a couple bets I like here. You want to start with head to heads again?
hell yeah, dive in, my friend.
So on DraftKings, I like Kligerman over Josh Bilicki. He's minus 115 as of the last time we ran the Sim Center, so you'd have to look to see if that's still available. Bilicki's in a JGR car. That's the twist here, and he is a
Okay, because
pretty
I was
decent.
wondering what the hell that matchup is.
Yeah, he's in either the 19 or 20 or one of them. I can double check. Either way, he's in a JGR car. He's pretty good on roads. Like he's typically between like 15th and 20th in a DGM car, but then now he's getting a JGR car. Maybe he can crack the top 10. But when I break down the Xfinity rankings, and sorry, I just am pulling that up here too. I have Kligerman ranked extremely high.
Oh yeah,
I have Kligerman after like the big five of SVG, Dinger, Hill, Custer, Allgaier. Then I have Kligerman right there after him with like the Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed crowd.
yeah.
So even with Bilicki in a JGR car, I can't really put him in that same mix. So at almost even money there, close enough to it where it's a coin flip, I would pick Kligerman. What do you think of that?
I was looking at that too because I didn't know what the hell Josh Bilicki was driving and didn't even bother looking at it. And I was like, I would probably hammer that. I do like the sweaty ones because either Parker Kligerman and I, we have issues. Okay, I had
Yeah.
Sage Karam at Austin, top 5. Fuck, I don't know what it was, a plus 1,000 or plus 900, and that's going great. And then Parker just sends him around, and I was looking for a fist fight. I was looking to go for a full on fist fight. But Parker, he's there, man. Like he's always in the top 10 at these road courses. Yeah, he's very consistent in his car, at least on road courses. And I feel like if
Yeah.
any type of win's coming at some point for him, it will be at a road course. But against Josh, yeah, like I mean, I feel like at this point at minus 115, I'm looking at it on DraftKings still. It feels like a no-brainer. I mean, it could be a bit of a sweat if like chaos. This is the one that we're going to lose at the end of the race, where all of a sudden there's a late race restart and there's chaos and calamity, and Josh
Well, that's
Bilicki
what I'll
somehow
mention.
gets through it
Yes,
all.
like Kligerman last year, ended stage one ninth, finished stage two and fourth, finished 14th.
Yeah,
So definitely some fuckery at the end, which can always happen in these lower series.
yeah.
Uh, but you got to just play the guys that are running at that higher position. I can't. One thing
I
I
feel
noticed
like they
too.
try and get in your head a little bit, right? Like the books are like, oh, here's a little Josh Bilicki. Ooh,
Yeah,
take him here. They're swinging it right in front of you, and you go, you should. Kligerman has been there for you on road courses in the past. Majority of the time, he's going to run well, and the only time he has finished bad is the stupid funky bullshit. So yeah,
yeah, and
I really like that.
I couldn't find Bilicki in any track history here either, so I don't think he's ran this course yet. Where
Yeah,
Parker has before, so at least you got 1 year experience under your belt. So yeah, I don't mind that one.
this is one I was looking at. Riley Herbst and Jesse Love on Caesars. Now, I don't like it when it's minus 110 and minus 120. Give me the plus money, Caesars. What the fuck? You have disgusted every person that bets in the NASCAR world over the last couple of weeks. Give me plus money to make me a happy man. But Riley Herbst has finished like 30th or worse in the two races here. Jesse Love. Okay, this guy, like the 2 is good at road courses. Austin Hill shows up at road courses, that asshole. So I can see Jesse Love run inside the top 10, and Riley Herbst is after Stewart. He could come out and just be a wild card and be running the top 5 and fuck us. But after the Stewart Haas news this past week, it's getting in my head, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what's going to happen with these boys. All of a sudden, they're going to come out, win a race, and it could screw us. But I like Jesse Love, man. The kid is consistent. He's good. He finished 6th at Coda, which I just looked up and saw that and I went, holy shit. So his numbers are extremely long this week too. That's a kid I'm looking at. If chaos does happen, he's going to be sitting, I think, because of all the big names like Allgaier and Cole Custer, and Sam Mayer has been a road course dominant guy. And then obviously the Colic cars, he's going to be sitting there. And if chaos can happen and he can just scoot on through, Riley Herbst seems to find the chaos a lot.
What's the number on that you got?
Jesse Love is minus 110 on Caesars. Now, if you're going to go bet this currently and move this line on me, this friendship will be over.
I won't. I'm just looking. I do. I have Love ranked higher than Herbst this weekend. What I like to see as well is, Sheldon Creed when he was in that car. Creed is a great road racer. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but it's nice to know that car can, come correct here at when it needs to. And he qualified in the pole. He, finished 7th. He was in the top 6 in both stages, led a bunch of laps. But again, Creed is a great road course racer, loves learning. I had Love ranked ahead of Herbst in true performance ranks at the only road course at Coda when they ran earlier this year. And Love came away with a 6th place finish there, which is really nice to see. And the other thing too is just RCR in general. Austin Hill has top 5s in both his runs at Portland. So
yeah, he's like Voldemort on this fucking podcast now. That SOB. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with this week after what he got fined and shit.
Yeah, he's a crybaby, but you'll love my next bet then because you just mentioned Jesse Love, and I don't mind it, but I like an Austin Hill top 5 as well. I think because there's 2 ringers in here, it has driven some value down the chart, and typically I think we'd see him probably around even money for a top 5 right here, and he's like plus 180 places. So
okay, well I like
that number.
I was looking at this stuff too, and I'm trying to get over my hatred.
Yeah, you have
this fucking asshole. So okay, so first question here. We need to address this on the podcast. Do you like Austin Hill?
I think he's a crybaby. I will admit that. So that's. Right. I think he's got a huge head too, which I just find it interesting when I see it on TV. I don't know if they just zoom in on that shit or if it's just
fucking
like
ginormous, baby. Holy fuck! He reminds me of a Kyle Busch, like early on Kyle Busch, right? It's never his fault. He's crying and bitching and complaining, and you're creating a lot of enemies. So I cannot wait till the next time I think it's the summer Daytona race when they go, oh baby. Well, yeah, it'd be
someone
say
that's still Kyle Busch. That's pretty much still what he's doing.
Yeah, true. So so they're at RCR and they're doing a little, I'd like to have sponsors for the podcast, so I'm not going to say some wild shit, but we know what's going on in the showers at RCR. All right. Swear to God, dude. I cannot stand Austin Hill, but I will take that. I was looking at that too. He seems to be very, very consistent on certain tracks. I like to say that throughout the year, he's a very high and low kind of guy. He pops up in the top 5, and then all of a sudden he's like finishing 10th. So, but he will be there. And the way he was driving at Coda, I like it. So what was the number you got?
Well, I see plus 180 is the best one I see, but I haven't checked. Like, we don't have every book hooked up on this either. But right now he's like plus 180 on Caesars. As of the last time we ran it, he was plus 180 on DraftKings too for the top 5. So I like that number. I think it's pretty fair.
I think it's fair too, because I feel like this week you're picking either this all got you're like trying to figure out who's that last three drivers out of the top five, right? Because you expect AJ Allmendinger and SVG after you saw what you saw at Coda running inside, excuse me, running inside the top three.
Mm.
But if chaos happens, you got to try and be able to pick these long shots. Like I'm 1000% on RCR. I've got Jesse Love 7-1 for a top five as well. And I feel like they show up. You see it all the time on road courses.
I when I ranked them out for the race, like I always do, and it's basically like a scoring system between like 50 and 90, like 90 being the best. I have Dinger, SVG, and Hill all within 1 point of each other in scoring for this. So to me,
Wow.
it's like seeing that plus 180, and it's like I got him up there with the big dogs anyways. Like, all
Mm,
right, that makes sense then. That's fine. Because Dinger won this race, but he wasn't the best car, in my opinion, at all.
yeah.
So he only led 6 laps. He started 10th, so it's not like he had to come through the entire field or anything like that, unless I'd have to go back and see. But that was also 2 years ago. And I think, like you said, Colleague right now is a different team. I know it's a road course and it's AJ. So listen, if he goes out there and dusts the field, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
But Colleague right now, to me, has definitely taken a step backwards.
I think we saw because they raced Xfinity raced at Road America last year for the last time, right? And that was the time AJ Allmendinger flew up there, missed qualifying or whatever, wherever the Cup Series race was. And I think that was the turning point for those Xfinity cars. And I think Colleague a lot of the time, all of a sudden that car was I think they didn't even finish the race. Something happened in their car and they couldn't even finish the day. And now it's like you'd be a crazy person to take anything about like plus 200 for outright. I just feel like they're very inconsistent with what they're
Yeah, all
bringing
the
to the
way
track.
through. Like up in the Cup Series, they're getting outran by Rick Ware consistently. So it's like that should never happen. I know that Rick Ware's got a new, RFK affiliation, whatever. But like now you're the laughing stock. So that's not good.
They're chasing trophies, I thought.
Yeah. Which ones?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Yeah. So we're on RCR. I do like that, even though I'm trying to get over my hatred. The last thing I took in my top five market was Sage Karam. Now, the 26, it should can it make it to the end of the race? That's a big question because I got all excited at Talladega for Jeffrey Earnhardt to be driving in. And I was like, oh, this is a good, consistent, like Toyota car. Fucking thing. Like they didn't even talk about what the hell happened to that car. But Sage Karam, when he shows up and he's in a Toyota, for some reason in this 26 car, he's there, man. Like the
Mhm.
24 and the 26, I feel like they could that team. What is it? Sam Hunt Racing.
Yeah. Yeah, the same hunt.
Yeah,
That's
they show
Karam.
up at road courses, man.
Yeah, he's solid on a road course. So he was every time I rank out everything for road courses, I'm always surprised at where he is. I've got him right now smack dab between Ryan Truex and Chandler Smith, who are both in JGR cars. So it's
Woo! Hell
like,
yeah, dude.
I mean, he's still like, fringy top 10-ish is where I got him ranked
Yeah.
because how loaded the field is really. But like you said, if some shit goes down and he survives, then he can be there at the end. He's proven it before.
Dude, he
So
was running third, fourth, fifth at Coda like all day
yeah.
pretty much. So I'm sitting there and then obviously Calamity, but like if he's running seventh, eighth, ninth, maybe 10th, and a bunch of shit happens up front on a late race restart, there it is, right? Like so I do like the RCR picks. I like the Sage Karam on my end. Maybe I'm a little biased because it is my pick, but I mean, I'm loving that. So is there anything in like top three market and outright that you're thinking?
Um I'm looking to see what we got. I mean, really, it's like the dudes that we said. Just I think it's because they're mispriced going down the board.
Mhm.
Which would be like the Parker, Austin Hill, Jesse Love type guys. Um,
Jesse Love is a crazy long shot. I think that car is worth the sprinkle, man.
yeah, he's like 7-1, or maybe probably even more if we really dug around there for even just a top five.
Yeah,
So I mean, he finished sixth the last road course. So I mean, it
he can
can
be there.
happen. And like we said, we like RCR here. So Yeah, I got no problem with it. As he learns these road courses too and runs them more, he's gonna get better at them and learn the braking zones and all that stuff. So I don't know. These young kids, like I said, it's the same thing we talked about with Fenhouse. When these kids find a way to win in the lower series, like winners are winners. They just find a way to be there.
Yeah.
It's if it was so easy in these lower series, everyone would fucking do it, and they don't. So
Yeah.
like this kid, that's a special talent to me. So I never mind betting the ones I think that are super, super talented in a
And
fast track.
Jesse won at Watkins Glen too, right? So and on that crazy like last corner, what I was there. It was insane. In the it was dark. They couldn't see, and it was sprinkling rain. They were trying to figure out what tire to put on, and he goes and wins the race on the last corner. So he's
Yeah.
won on road courses in the ARCA series at these long numbers in an RCR car. Like I feel like you have to take him. I think there's at one point on Caesars, I'm not sure if it's still sitting there. He was 60-1 outright. Tiny little sprinkle on that. I'm 7-1 on the top five, no doubt. So
Yeah, I couldn't argue against that at all. So I think winners win. They'll find a way. So
amen,
it's gonna
amen. That's what Bubba said to me. Winners motherfucking win, baby. And I was like, fucking yeah.
yeah. Hell
Chest
yeah.
bump. Oh, baby. Little bro
Awesome.
moment with Bubba. But all right. So we've got Austin Hill, top five. I think you said you got him at 2-1.
180.
180. Love that.
Yep.
I've got Jesse Love at 7-1, Sage Karam 7-1 for a top five. And then the matchups I had Jesse Love over Riley Herbst, and then you had what?
Parker over Blecky.
Right. Okay. And then outright, I'm going with Jesse Love, a little sprinkle, some Austin Hill, and maybe a Parker Kligerman on there.
There you go. I got
Don't
no I got no other long shots here. There's too many two ringers in the race. One of them could easily win this, so no long
yeah.
shots for me. But except for that love one. The love one would be the only one because that's not like a Fenhouse type deal where it's like you don't know what car he's getting. So yeah, the love one's not if he's you said he was like 60 or 70-1. Yeah.
It's yeah,
I mean
60,
that's
60-1
kind of
on
weird.
Caesars.
It's just kind of weird to see that.
Yeah, that I woke up the one morning and I see that I go, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What Sam Mayer on fucking Bet 365 is where the hell did it go? What the
We have
hell?
Love Fair in The Sims. We have Love Fair at like 77-1, so he's right there.
That's insane. Sam Mayer is 5.5-1 on Bet 365. I love Sam. Him and I are buddies. Sorry, Sam. I am not taking that shit. I
Not
know
that
you're
number.
good.
That car's been fast lately too, but not at that number.
Yeah, hey baby, we hit
No
that
way.
at Texas. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Woo! I was sweating that bitch. I was like, who the
Yeah.
hell won? All right, so let's finally. We're about almost 40 minutes into it. Maybe they're annoyed with us, but we don't care. What do we
We're good.
have? Yeah, screw them. It's us. It's all about us, baby. All right, what do we have for the Cup Series? Where would we like to start? Do you got any of those crazy? Like, okay, do we want to start off with the poll numbers, and then we'll get into,
Yeah,
if you
I
have
can
anything
go
for
with those.
Toyota, Chevrolet, because the poll numbers for Bet 365 this week. I don't know if Caesars even has numbers or not, but oh my god,
Ooh,
terrible.
they're bad.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm looking at them right now.
what the hell
It
have they
goes.
done, dude? They
Let me
figured it
see.
out, dude.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 16 drivers, and I'm only at 16-1.
Yeah. What the hell is
Yikes!
this?
Because the first one I was looking for was Briscoe, and he's 15-1. There's
Yeah,
just no
I
fucking
am
way.
not touching that.
No. If he was double that, I might be interested. Like maybe someone has these like overseas books or whatever else out there. If he's
Yeah.
like 30-1, I'd take him for the poll.
Just like, man, like, did you get Ty Gibbs? Did you hit Ty Gibbs last week on the poll or no?
No, we're so mad too. I didn't bet any poll bets, but Greg had posted some, and I know he was
Right.
on Bell. And I post the results from
Right.
qualifying. So I have a whole matrix here, and I did it. I sorted by taking Bristol and Dover out, then took the other 5 intermediate tracks they ran, or 4 at that time. And it was like Larson Gibbs. Gibbs was second. So it was like if you were gonna bet Gibbs, bet a Toyota, Gibbs was the one. If for some reason we didn't, and that was like 8-1. I think people even got even better than that. I don't know, but yeah.
Dude,
Now he's ranked number 1 after getting that poll, but
oh, of course. See now, like, because I was down in the States there last week, once I cross the border, unless I go to a casino, I can't bet, right? So I'm sitting there and I see him get the pole. I go, I take this motherfucker every goddamn week, and this
Yeah,
is when it happens. I was
yeah,
like, I know
exactly.
I'd be rolling in the dough right now.
You know
Oh,
what sucks is that's the market. What really bit me in the ass was like, yes, he would have been the Toyota I bet for the pole. And that's the only way I should ever bet him because I have a season-long bet on him to not win a race. So it's
oh,
like, if I'm gonna do it, I've been betting his top 10s and stuff, and that worked out. I
yeah.
think I won a matchup in his top 10 last week. It was good. But if I'm gonna bet him to win anything, the only thing I can bet him to win is a fucking pole, and I
Is the
didn't bet
pole.
it. And it's like, had him ranked number 1 Toyota too. Just good God,
Did you lose some sleep over that?
makes me mad.
it,
Makes me
it
mad.
does make you mad, man. You sitting there
Yeah,
like I had Bubba. What was it at? Like Richmond or whatever the hell it was, and he just lost to Larson. I can't remember what race that
yeah,
was. And I'm sitting there like, and all the Larson fans are just having a jolly old good time, giving Bubba the finger. And I'm sitting, I had to go to the washroom. I like wiped my face with water. I looked in the mirror, like, why? Why can't we have nice things? I just
yeah.
wanted it so
Exactly.
bad. Oh,
That's
and then I
funny.
think Ty Gibbs a week later or whatever, too. He finishes second to behind Larson. I go, Larson's just like bending me over, dude. Just
Yeah.
bending me over, having fun with it. I hate when the favorite wins. So, okay. So we have nobody for the poll because the numbers are
I
so
don't
ugly.
know. You know what? Maybe no one has anyone for the poll because it's rain all day Saturday.
I saw that too. Yeah, because I think the truck series or whatever is supposed to run at like what 1 o'clock, and I think that end up, if anything, it might be end up being a night race because they got to wait for the Xfinity race, right?
Yeah. So
So
I saw rain like all day. So I didn't know if they were gonna bump one race even to like after the cup race on
well,
Sunday or something, but
that'd be fun. I like
or
that.
before. I don't know if they can go I don't even know what time the race is. I think it's earlier though, so I don't know if they can go before it, but
It's a little bit backwards because Portland's supposed to be sun, so it's like it doesn't even make any
oh,
sense. Portland's supposed to
yeah,
rain all the time, and then it's supposed to be sun on the weekend. So I'm like, huh?
yeah.
Like Illinois, is Illinois known for rain?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no
Like,
idea.
what are we? We're not meteorologists. All right. So,
Anywhere, you know what's it's supposed to rain anywhere there's a fucking race. That's how it works.
oh,
Doesn't matter.
it was so
You could
bullshit.
be in a drought. If you were in a drought, you would just pray for NASCAR to bring their whole camp to your
Have you
town.
ever been to a Michigan race?
No, I
Oh,
want to
dude,
go.
you sit there. It could be sunny skies. I remember it was a couple years ago. Sunny skies. I took my brother to his first race. Right, sunny skies, great day. Right at 3 o'clock when they're supposed to drop the green flag, half an hour of an absolute downpour, and my
Yeah,
brother just went full depressed mode. I go, where the fuck did this come from? Just one ginormous cloud. And last year on the Sunday, it just misted
yeah,
all day. And when you're just sitting there miserable as shit, and we had to go home the next day, so I had to watch it on my phone. I was pissed.
yeah. I
And I
hate
think I had
that.
Tyler Reddick winning that race. And I'm sitting there in a car crossing the border going, fucking throw my phone. The border security officers like, are you all right? You coming
Yeah,
at me? And I'm like, no, just let's not talk about it right now.
yeah. That's crazy.
Michigan.
It never fails, dude. It never fails. We go Cup Series goes, like, you can't again, like you said, can't have nice things. We can't just have them practice, qualify, race, no rain. Why not? I don't understand it.
And I'm not
But
even getting in to me being at the track last week and looking at a dry 3 and 4, and then everybody starts booing because I go, why? The track's dry. We're not
yeah,
even gonna go down that loophole. I already did
I
it
saw
the other day.
Denny I saw a video, I don't know if Denny posted it or someone posted it of
Denny
Denny, but
did,
he
yeah.
said too, he's like, "Yeah, he's like, "Track was perfectly fine by 10 after 12." It's like,
Yeah,
that's
we're all
I don't
standing there. I was saying to my friends, we're all under the grandstands. They were eating Bojangles. And then all of a sudden I walked out and I go, I'm gonna check the track to see if it's dry and see if we're going racing. And I walk out there, I go, it's dry. Okay, guys, let's get like finish up your Bojangles and put it in the garbage. We're gonna go sit down. Not even 10 seconds after I say that, all you hear is booze. And I'm like, no. So we're
yeah.
looking for a TV and we're trying to load Bob Pockris. And he's like, yeah, humidity. And I go, humidity? It
Yeah,
was
no, it was
cold. There was no humidity. I'm like, this is the biggest lie I've ever fucking heard. Like, and it's an
yeah,
expensive ticket, man. So I'm sitting there like I got ripped off. Absolutely ripped off. Do you know
yeah.
why it happened? Was it because of Fox or
That's what the word on the street is. I don't think we'll ever know, but it adds up. So
Well, let me tell
pretty
you, Fox is really digging themselves a hole if it is Fox.
yeah, I know that's the thing. It's like I always get mad at NASCAR. I don't know whose fault it is at the end of the day. I mean, I feel bad for NASCAR sometimes because they don't fucking do the rain dance and bring the rain all the time, and then they got to do all this shit and coordinate everything. It's like they make a lot of weird ass decisions during races, but I don't know if all the rain stuff's always their fault. But
I can tell you right now, they're like politicians, man. They could just never be honest. They just have to lie through their teeth the whole fucking time. And you're sitting there like, just give me a straight, honest answer for
yeah,
once, dude.
that's like my friends who were here. Like they want to go home. If we're not gonna go, send them. I'll send them home. They want to go home and go to bed.
Yeah, dude, we're standing there for like 2 hours. And I'm like, there's no way they're getting this on. And then all of a sudden we waste 2 hours of jet dryer fuel and just call it once it's dry. Like, oh.
Super weird.
All right. So what
But
do we got? Do we got any
sticking
markers?
with the rain subject though, that's kind of why like we'll talk about some bets here, but I will
Okay.
be honest with everyone, I have not made one Cup Series bet yet this week. So,
Neither have I. Neither have
yeah,
I.
I want to see what happens. I think this, especially at this track. So, I was on with ESTAP this morning, and I'll just read something
Okay.
that I brought up there. But in 2023, 7 drivers finished stage one, two, and the race inside the top 10. So they never left the top 10. Six of
Wow.
those drivers started inside the top 10. So to me, is like if we get practice in qualifying, that's what I want to see before I place any bets. I want to see
Mhm.
who brings the fast car. It's probably not going to leave the top 10. And I
Right.
think that's a very smart way to bet this race.
So, what is your idea then? If that might happen, that it ends up getting all rained out for practice and qualifying. What's your idea then of bets when it comes to Sunday? Like, because it'll be all based off of points and everything like that, right? So, Larson and Denny and
Goes
all
off
those guys will
the
be up there.
Yeah, it goes off the metrics. So you could look at the qualifying order because that uses the metric, and that
Right.
would be your starting lineup. So you just
Gotcha.
interchange Group B and Group A. So it'd be William Byron on the pole, and Denny Hamlin would not line up next to him.
Gotcha.
What gets a little interesting is people that like have really sucked here and have not shown up at all. To where if they practiced and qualified, or I knew it wasn't supposed to rain, I'd probably take some matchups against them right now, like Keselowski, because now Keselowski could get bailed out by this and start in the second row. And
Yeah.
even if he's not that fast, can probably just make his car feel wider than it is and just get in people's fucking way and maintain track position. He's just a vet like that.
Yeah.
And then figure it out as the race goes on. So I wouldn't like those matchups as much because I know Greg on 365 and you have I don't have 365, but you
Oh,
do.
okay.
There was Ty Gibbs versus Keselowski head to head, I think. And if we're gonna
Yeah, I'm
start
gonna.
with head to heads, that's one that I really like.
They got a Brad against William Byron, and they got
Oh,
a
that's no, that's the one. Sorry, not Gibbs. That's the
yeah.
one.
So
Yeah.
Brad
So
Keselowski's plus 100 against William Byron, and Byron's minus 130.
yeah, I think when he took it, it was a little better, but even the minus 130, I really like the Byron side. I
Yeah,
like it. I like it a ton if they're going to practice and qualify. I
one
still kind
thousand
of like it
percent.
if Byron's on the pole with the first pit stall.
Yeah, I totally agree because Hendrick shows up like he's going to keep that position, right? I think Kyle Busch last year won the pole as well, too, right? And he
Yeah,
ended up winning the race. So anytime a guy gets the pole, definitely on a track, like if now we know for Darlington or whatever, like bet the guy that gets the pole because he's not leaving that position. So I do like that because if we do practice and qualify, we know where Brad's usually starting. That's the only reason I took him at Darlington is because holy shit, he put a qualifying lap together and he's going to be able to work with it. But if he qualifies 30th like he always does or whatever, you gotta take this number now, or because if anything, it won't show up again. If it does, it'll be minus 200 or something for Byron.
yeah, that's what they do. They could even just take it right down.
Yeah.
Um,
I do like that though. An interesting one would be Josh Berry and Chase Briscoe on Bet 365. I
what's
don't know.
that? They just dead even?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh,
Chase Briscoe is the favorite, minus 130, and Josh Berry is
oh.
plus 100.
So I don't mind. I'm
Give
gonna pull up the order here and see
it to me. That's
what we
crazy,
got.
dude. I mean, Josh Berry has outperformed Briscoe I feel like, well,
He has,
I
but
don't say by a
Briscoe is
mile.
a Briscoe's a qualifier though, so it's like, if they're gonna get this rained out version, then you've
Mhm.
got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Barry starting on like the 7th row, and Briscoe's buried in like the 14th or 15th row.
Ooh. Keep
So
an eye on the weather for that one, I would say.
yeah, yeah. If you can take the plus money on Josh Berry, because if you basically view them as even or Berry even better, then just take the guy that's starting 7 rows ahead and hope he can maintain that
Yeah,
for
exactly,
the
for sure,
plus
yeah.
money. Like, yeah.
Love
So
I
that's
love that
that's a
they're
cool
giving
one.
that matchup after all the SHR news. Jesus Christ. It's like
So I saw qualifying matchups too. One caught my eye, and I know not a lot of people would probably be on board with me with this here, but Kyle Busch is plus money to Joey Logano. He's plus 110, and Logano's
this
minus 140.
is this on, Caesars?
Yeah, on Caesars. And Logano hasn't made a final round since Bristol, and that was over 2 months ago. So, I mean, it's like in this
And Kyle
package,
Busch has showed up all of a sudden in qualifying, man.
yeah, I think he's beat him in this package. He's beat him in like 4 or 5 straight qualifying. So, and plus he hit the pole here last year and the year before. The reason I bet him to win last year early week was because he was so awesome the year before.
Yeah.
So, like, he's obviously figured something out here. We already said how much we like RCR.
And he hasn't been he's been bad, but he hasn't been terrible. It's just like at the late race antics that happen where he just spins. I feel like he just lets go of the wheel. So
Yeah, that's
at the
the beauty of
beginning,
this bet. He just needs to make one fucking clean lap, and
boom.
you win your money.
I have to say, I honestly, because I was gone last week, I forgot about qualifying matchups. So I do like that. That's one of those things that I've hit. I think I've hit every single qualifying matchup bet other than maybe one or two this year. And I've been like, it's just been like they give you plus money on a guy that, and you're just like, okay, I got to take this. I think the best one I had was Bristol weekend. I think I had some crazy number or whatever on like, I think it was Elliott over Byron or something. And then Elliott's beat him every time or something like that. So I ended up winning
Yeah.
that. It was, yeah, I love that plus 110. That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
I
So
just
Kyle
think,
Busch over
like, even
Joey
if
Logano.
if Logano team comes out and smokes him, it is what it is. But it's like,
Yeah.
you couldn't really point to anything that said Logano should win this. So that's why I just think the number's wrong,
I
completely
feel like
wrong.
once Joey kind of got caught with the glove, it like his qualifying has gone to shit.
Yeah, and he doesn't have 800 test laps at this track here like he did for North Wilkesboro, so I don't count that as like, "Oh, another short track, Logano's gonna dominate again." Like, I know he won here 2 years ago, but he didn't last year, and he was good, but Kyle Busch was better, and then Kyle Busch also qualified on the pole, so, like, what would he and the Chevys have no body change, no nothing
Yeah.
heading into this year, so what would they possibly change from that
Yeah.
race winning car heading into this race?
Like
Like, he should.
he should be top 10, I would think. But I mean, just to be able to make one lap, like I feel like he could do it. What about if I bring this one up to you? It's on Caesars, it's a qualifying matchup as well. Reddick minus 130 over Ross Chastain. Now, Ross Chastain, I don't know his history qualifying here. I don't know if you have that. Um, but Reddick qualifies well on a consistent basis, and Ross just randomly pops up. His one of I got a guy that we got a buddy or whatever that works at Trackhouse, and he says that the only thing that's his Achilles heel is his qualifying.
Right.
So
It's it's interesting because, like, recently, Ross has qualified much better.
yeah,
So that'd be the only thing that kinda scares me away from Reddick here. But Reddick seemed pretty freaking awesome at Gateway last year. Had
yeah, and they
this
both
brake
him and Bubba
issue.
both they both blew brake rotors, right?
Yeah, and if I remember right, they were coming through the field. I think Truex came through the field too at some point. So the Toyotas had no problem passing at this track that's hard to pass at. But if we're talking about just one lap, I mean, I think yes, Chastain beat him at Kansas and
Mhm.
beat him most recently at Charlotte. That'd be what kind of scares me a little bit. Not that I would compare these tracks to this,
Yeah.
just that it's the same package and it's two of the last three races in it. I'd probably just stay away. I have him way too close in the qualifying matrix thing I got here.
Personally,
Or
I love a good sweaty bet like that. I mean, it's the only thing
yeah,
is
I mean,
it's the juice, right? Like the juice, it's like, oh
yeah.
my god. But he just puts like a I think it was at Kansas. I was on Chris Worm's live stream or whatever, and I was like, he put a miracle run together. Didn't he like finish second or something?
Oh,
Chastain.
Chastain. Yeah, that was his best one.
And I was like, "Oh, no," and I had Christopher Bell winning the pole. Thank God he got that because, like, Chastain put a miracle lap together. That he never qualifies well.
That was a weird for 2311, that was just a weird race altogether. They both
Yeah.
didn't qualify great, and then, like, the whole race just waiting for them to come up through the field, and they just couldn't move at all.
Hey,
That was a weird one.
they couldn't break the top 10. I think, like, Reddick would get to, like,
Yeah.
11th or 12th, and then they would fall back down to 20th. It was a really bad race, so, yeah, it is interesting, but I gotta say that Kyle Busch over Joey Logano feels damn good. I think I'm gonna smack that shit,
Now listen,
when
I don't mind the Reddick one because if you're just talking about pure speed in this package this year,
yeah,
Reddick has Chastain blown away. It's not
and
even
1
close.
lap. That
So,
you only need 1
yeah,
lap.
yeah,
Do you
1
ever
hot
hit
lap.
do you ever hit, like, stage 1 matchups? Do you ever do those?
Yeah, sometimes. I actually won a Truex one recently, and I did it by accident. Because it doesn't tell you on your phone until you go to it. So I was like Truex over Byron. I forget what race it was recently, and it ended up being stage two, which hit. He beat him in stage one and two, which was great. But
Ooh,
I was like, damn, I didn't even mean to do that. I meant to do stage one.
I've
But
done
yeah,
that
I
a couple
do. I
times.
do like those.
Yeah, I don't think Caesars usually gives those out. I don't think they have any right now, but, um, yeah, God, because I
So they
really
come
like
out. I
those.
think. I think they wait till after practice and qualifying, so they
Do
know
they?
where everyone's starting. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so far all we've got is Kyle Busch over Joey Logano for qualifying matchup bets, but I also do like the Reddick. I might take that too. I mean, if anything, I'm confident so much in Kyle Busch. I'll pay a little bit of the juice of Reddick. I'm not going to hammer it, but if Kyle Busch does beat out Joey Logano, I mean, and Reddick somehow falls off the face of the earth, I'm so confident in Kyle Busch to be able to like it should win me my money back anyways and be able to break even since it's at plus money. So,
Our number one value bet in the Sim Center right now is a Tyler Reddick head to head over Brad Keselowski.
ooh,
So minus 115 over Brad. We have it as a basically we do like a one like a 0 star through 5 star system, or we use
mm,
dollar signs for it just because it looks way better and cooler. But he's got
sick,
that's a $4 sign bet right there. The Tyler
man,
Reddick over Brad,
and
hoping again that they qualify.
that's on what?
That's on DK.
Oh, is it okay? That's like a race matchup.
That's a head-to-head, yeah, for the
Okay.
actual race. Yep.
Okay, so you have
So
any
that
other race matchups, or is it just the Reddick and Brad Keselowski?
um, the next one we have rated out is Ty Gibbs over Elliott. I don't know if I like that as much. Just Elliott's been getting a lot of I don't want to say I guess lucky finishes. He finishes better than he's running in my opinion. So
Yeah,
I worry about that here with a really I do all the pit stop ranks too on Win the Race, and like that team is the most consistent, best team at pits at 4 tire
who,
stops.
Chase.
Chase Elliott, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
Ty
unreal
Gibbs is
good.
very inconsistent, like very inconsistent, and it hurts him a lot.
Yeah. So to me, Reddick and like the Reddick one against Kez, I obviously want Kez to qualify because, and this goes back to us liking Reddick qualifying. I think Reddick can blow him away in qualifying.
Yeah,
But so I'd love that track position in that head to head. Where Gibbs and Elliott, I mean, Elliott is like sometimes pops up too and will qualify like top five out of nowhere.
right.
And then if you give him track position with the fast pit crew, I worry about that head to head more against Gibbs. So I'll probably stay away from that one.
So, all right. So, do you have any other like these like different ones like to win a group or race specials or anything like that, or do you want to move to like to the top 10, top 5 market?
We can just move. Yeah. So one thing I did find, like top forward, I thought was interesting. And again, hopefully with practice and qualifying. And I thought that was interesting because of the stuff like Briscoe winning the pole here before. Briscoe winning, he's been in the final round in 5 of the 7 intermediate package races. So he is qualifying like a madman.
Yeah,
This is a track where he's qualified on the pole before. So, you know, this is also a track where RFK has been terrible both years. So
yeah,
it's like if you're taking them out of the equation, their odds right now are like they would be at a regular intermediate track, which I wouldn't call this that.
yeah. It's
Um,
definitely not that.
yeah, and if Logano is still going to struggle, then you're taking Logano and RFK out of the situation, and it's building a lot of value on these like Stuart Haas guys to win top four. And it's really just them against Blaney. at that point, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because we expect
So
Logano. Yeah, we expect Logano to be running outside the top 10, probably, definitely on the mile and a half package. Like they have not shown up. Yeah, so I totally get with that. Like Ryan Priest is definitely not on anybody's radar, but like a Noah Gragson and Chase Briscoe, is that what you're thinking of, or like are you gonna sprinkle
yeah,
on
like a Barry, like
a
Barry and
Barry?
Briscoe.
Yeah, I like that. Like
Yeah,
Gregson just
and
shows
again,
up
just a
sometimes.
sprinkle. Yeah, I have him 16 to 1 here on Caesars. I mean, I imagine like if you shop it hard enough, you can probably find it a little better, but
Yeah,
I don't mind those. I've also seen some sharp people betting Michael McDowell top tens.
I
Top 10
saw
might
that
be
too.
all you need here to win top four. So he's like 35 to 50 to 1, I think, depending on where you look.
I got Michael McDowell 40-1 on Bet 365 for a top four. And I don't mind that because they play that risky game of staying out. And then
Yeah.
this year, like before, it wouldn't really hit. And then all of a sudden this year, it has gone their way in so many different tracks that
Good. So he's another guy too, though. One, two, three. So four out of the seven races qualified, made the final round. And
mm,
his worst qualifying performance this year in the intermediate package is 16th. So
wow.
he's like, he is showing up fast, and that is what you need to do here. I'm really hoping, if you place these bets, you're just really hoping you get practice and qualifying.
Yeah.
Although I'll see where he is. He'd be
He shouldn't be
starting.
too far back.
Yeah, he'd be starting around 60. He's in the eighth row
Okay. So that's, yeah,
if they
that's not
don't
too
get it.
bad.
So yeah, so either way, it's not bad. It would be on par with his worst qualifying performance of the year, but you'd really be hoping he ran out there and ran a real fast lap.
He's
But
been very like him and Todd Gill, and like I was very shocked to see Michael McDowell leaving this program because they have all of a sudden just turned a corner. But you never know. I really do think that in my eyes, I think who tweeted at me? Greg, I think Greg Mathern tweeted at me, and he said that he would love to see Briscoe go to RFK. But I think Briscoe, everybody's talking about the 21. I think he'd be great at front row. I mean, but there's a lot of options out there, but we'll keep moving here. So I do like the Barry and Briscoe be able to like shop around because you can definitely with these top Ford, top Chevy markets, you can really find greater numbers elsewhere.
yeah, Barry, Briscoe, McDowell, if they qualify well, those numbers are all chopped in half or way
Yeah.
worse than that. So I think it's
And if
definitely worth
qualifying
taking a look
doesn't
right now.
happen, we'll just pray to God something happens to Blaney.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's
you really you got to hope that Kez doesn't start on that second row because he's the one
oh
with track position who can just really it'll bite you in the ass. But hopefully the rain goes away. We'll see.
yeah.
But I thought that was worth mentioning for your listeners and for everyone. Just, if you wanted to sprinkle something that's a little longer than these plus 180s and plus, minus 115s we're giving out, that gives you a little more to sweat there.
And with the Michael McDowell 40-1, I'm always pray for chaos, man, because it happens. And Michael
Yeah.
McDowell seems to be on this year on the right side of absolute chaos, finishing
Yeah.
inside top tens and stuff. So, do you have anything for top tens? They're pretty gross this week, but one guy I've seen a lot of people talking about is the consistency of Alex Bowman.
Yeah. He's been top 10 in quite a bit. I mean, that I have him, ranked out just outside the top 10 in true performance in the intermediate package this year, but he's got the seventh best average finish. So his average finish is inside the top 10. I mean, makes sense when you see him top 10ing all the time, but I don't necessarily think he's a top 10 ride. He hasn't been at Gateway yet.
Yeah, that's the
So
only thing. I think he's finished just outside of the top 10 every time. And I was thinking about it. I've got him a plus 190 for a top 10. I'm sitting there. I'm
he,
still like, I just see the last 2 years, and I get it.
if it
He's on a
gets
hot
rained
streak,
out, he starts like eighth or ninth.
and
So
we talked about it at the beginning of the segment of the Cup Series that if you're inside that top 10, you have a high chance. So
yeah, I
there's a.
mean, and I don't
I,
know.
I feel
I
like a
like
lot of these bets. I know we're talking about the Cup Series right now, and I feel like I'd have to recommend to a lot of people just wait. Like, just wait to see what
yeah.
happens with the rain. I mean, I'm gonna take the Kyle, but I'm gonna take the qualifying matchups just in case if qualifying does happen. But then you can make maybe a little bit of money if it does go down. But if not, then we're gonna have to reassess. I feel like this is one of those weekends.
Where we're showing the best, yeah, top 10 Alex Bowman values, FanDuel use 2 to 1. when we
Okay.
ran this earlier. I don't know if that's still alive, but 2-1's not bad. You get a Hendricks car, 2-1 to top 10 intermediate. It's not terrible.
So if I'm going to talk to the listeners here, guys, keep an eye on the weather. And if it gets to Saturday morning and you still, like, they're saying rain, 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 I would just go. And personally, what I'll do is I'll bet that 2-1 for an Alex Bowman, because you said he's going to start eighth or ninth.
Yeah, he'd start like fourth or fifth row. I saw fourth
Yeah,
row, I think.
I'm not gonna put my life savings on it, but he's been able to top 10 like crazy. And the stat that you gave about the guys finish like starting in the top 10, finishing in the top 10, I don't mind that. Definitely with a Hendrick car. The other guy I was looking at was Bubba, but they were performing really well last year and blew the brake rotors. So I think that's a coin flip on that one too. But
Yeah, that'd be a tough one. He'd be, yeah, starting just outside the top 10 if it did get rained out. If they qualify, I think that's what you're looking for, and hopefully he can, cement himself inside the top 10. He's made the final round in 5 out of 7 of these in this package as well. Um, yeah, it's just tough, man, because the numbers just suck so bad. Like,
yeah,
the top 10 numbers are just so butt everywhere.
I feel
Sometimes
like
on, like, Fanatics, you can find a good number, but it's
yeah, and I
brutal.
can't get that in or where I'm at in Canada. So like I feel like this week we've gone for a while. We're a little over an hour, but it's a lot of humming and hawing because the lines this week really do suck, guys. I really do apologize for that. Like, we're not the ones creating them. And we open up the books. We wait all week for a trucks on a Wednesday night or whatever to pop up, and you go, "This is what we waited for." So it is, I think, really at this point of the game, it is just wait. Like, just
Yeah.
wait and see what the hell. There's no rush to be able to slam a bunch of bets.
No, we gave some fun stuff out tonight. I do think if it gets to Saturday morning and they're like, "This shit's gonna get rained out," I'm probably hitting the Byron top 5 because that's like plus 125 places, plus
Yeah.
130. That's, you give him the pole, he gets to hit the gas first and get that first pit stall with the fast pit crew on
Yeah,
this
William
track.
Byron is, yeah, plus 180 on Bet 365 for a top 5.
For a top 5? Oh, shit, I would take that right now probably
I'll
anyways.
take that.
But
Yeah.
then, like, best case scenario, then you just pray it gets rained out and he's on the pole, so
Yeah, and then he'll be there all day. He should be there all day. Like, no doubt.
e yeah, even if they gotta qualify, I mean, this dude's qualified 4th, 8th, 6th, 3rd, 5th, 2nd. He wrecked at Kansas, so I don't even count that one. So his worst qualifying performance when he doesn't hit the wall is 8th. Dude's fucking insane. I mean, that's plus 180 for a top 5. Good lord. About to text that's on 365?
Yeah. Well,
I'm about
text
to
him
text
after.
Greg right now, so Venmo him some money and put it down for me on that and then have him just pay me out.
Yeah, well, and they're usually pretty slow on Bet 365 to be able to move the line. So even if you hammer the shit out of it, they're usually pretty slow at moving it. So, um, well, do we have any outright picks, and then we'll cap it off for the night, or
I don't think so at this point. Like again, saying that about plus 180, where do they have Byron to win then?
they have him 10-1.
Where's he at? You cut out real quick. Sorry, I
Oh,
think my
sorry,
internet messed
he's
up.
I'm just sitting there
Probably
looking
just
at
like if I just looking at you cross-eyed, yeah.
you. 10-1.
Oh yeah, see that's better than like
What
that.
what
See,
what do you got?
that's even tempting. I mean
I
9 most
know.
places,
Okay,
but
I
that's tempting.
Byron is there every week, just placing himself, and I can never hit him. Some reason, we all have those drivers. If you've been betting for a while, we all have those drivers where you go, God damn it, I can't hit this guy for the likes of me. You stay off
Yeah.
him for a week, he wins. I was on him last week at Charlotte. Top 5 speed for sure. He brings it every week, and a 10-1 is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just looking too. Are they running the same tire code they ran at Phoenix?
Well, that's a good question.
So I think they are. Yeah, so we continued to go with Phoenix and Richmond earlier this season and now at Gateway. So I mean, that's what the tire that like Chris Bell tested on and then
Woo.
beat everyone's ass at Phoenix.
Did you
That's a
have
different
him at
package.
Phoenix?
Yeah, that one I
Amen.
called early week because he had those. So testing is huge now too. We got to remember this because drivers are going to go test at Iowa or whatever.
Yep.
So we got to write that shit
I
down
think
and bet those guys.
weren't the RFK guys on there the other day?
Yeah, someone 'cause think they rotate. They're like, why isn't Penske going or something? I don't know. But we got
Yeah,
to write down those 3 that are going, and then got to figure out who was fastest there, and then bet that guy because that's all you had to do for Bell at Phoenix, and it worked beautifully.
oh yeah,
Um,
that was my early pick. I think I got him like 16-1 or something like that. I was like, oh, this feels so good. He was the only
yeah, I
guy that could
mean,
pass.
so he did that too. He's like 10-1 places. I don't know if you can look on 365 right now and see where he is there. But he'd be if it gets rained out, he's starting on the second row. If it doesn't get rained out, he's great at qualifying here. He, has already won a pole at Kansas, third most recently at Charlotte. He was
Are you
arguably the
asking
fastest
about
car.
Christopher Bell for outright?
Yeah, yeah. Where's he at?
9-1.
9. So Caesar's a little better there. They got him at 10. So they probably shop that one around a little bit. But I'd say because I don't want to bet 5 or 6-1 right now, I'd want to wait till after practice and qualifying. That the 2 that I'd be eyeing right now would be Byron and Bell.
I like that. Double B's, baby.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's cap it off for the night. So we took Kyle Busch over Joey Logano in qualifying, if it does happen. I think we're both on that.
Mhm.
And then I've got Tyler Reddick over Ross Chastain, a little sweaty one. That could be fun.
I
Um,
like that.
then top Ford, shop around, Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, and then a long shot of Michael McDowell. What else did we have there?
Well, maybe a Bowman top 10 if you're feeling
Bowman.
froggy. 2 to
Yeah,
1.
like if you see the rain and you want to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of sweat, 2-1 or whatever on FanDuel, you said it was for
Yeah,
top 10.
FanDuel. If the race is good, if it's Saturday morning and they're like, "There's no freaking way we qualify today," then I'd love the Byron top 5,
Oh yeah, plus
especially at that number.
180.
Yeah, that's a great number.
That's a beautiful number. And then
That's one you take now, pray it gets rained out, but even if it doesn't, maybe it's better. Maybe he goes out and just pulls it anyways, and then
so
you're
that's the
just
thing, right? Is no
living it.
matter what, like I feel like that's a great number. And if it does get
Yeah,
rained out, he's so consistent with qualifying that I mean if he does qualify bad, I mean, like I don't think I just can't see him qualifying bad. So
yeah,
and then outright we've got Christopher Bell and William Byron. I do like those. I think you can get them both 10-1. 10-1 on Bet 365 for Byron and 10-1 on C Bell on Caesars.
yeah. I think those are nice numbers right now because they could both qualify within the top 5 easily, and
Yeah.
then those numbers are smoked out. So
All right. Well, that was a hell of a show. We went for a long time, and I'm okay with that.
yeah, it was fun talking, man. This was great.
I'll have to have you on a little bit. I'm gonna weigh out. I might have Chris Worm on next week, and we'll
Nice.
see who I have more fun with, and then you could be on the next week after that.
Yeah, just decide who you want to hang out with at Bristol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boom, baby. I gotta get down there so bad, dude.
yeah.
I'll have a party.
The time's gonna come, and you're just gonna be like, "I gotta go." You're gonna make it
And
happen.
did you say you go to Watkins Glen too because you live in New York?
I haven't been. No, I want to
Oh,
go. I live here and have not been yet. It's hard because like honestly, I don't have a lot of like friends here that would even want to go to a race.
how
So it's
far
like
are
I
you
gotta
from Watkins Glen?
probably 2.5 hours.
Oh, baby, you got to go, man. It's 4 hours for
So
me.
yeah,
Hey, just want to say nobody. Okay, all the people listening or whatever. This offer is not for you. It's for Ryan.
yeah.
The lady and I we broke up a couple of weeks ago, and I have 2 tickets behind Pit Road.
Oh,
You
nice.
don't have to. You don't have to owe me shit. Just buy me a couple cases of beer. I know it's cheap in the states.
Yeah.
You go to Watkins Glen. You got a ticket there for you, right behind Pit Road, baby.
I'll tell you what,
All weekend.
I will at least do my due diligence and run it by the wife and see what's happening.
All
So
right, sounds
we
good.
have
There's your
a
offer.
like they were just gone this last weekend. Like sometimes they go away. We have a family house somewhere else, 4 or 5 hours away. They go there for some weekends. And
Yeah,
so if that could be an easy excuse for them to go hang out there and I go to a race. We'll see what
yeah.
happens.
Hell yeah. All right. So give me all your info or give the guys or all the listeners or whatever, all your info, where they can find you at. And then, yeah, we'll close out the show.
Yeah, everything we have is on wintherace.info. It's the simulations, like I mentioned throughout the show. It's for all 3 series, typically all the time. Pup always. Xfinity and trucks is really depending on their turnaround time. That's the same for like DFS info for those two. Whereas Cup, it's full time all the time. We have the sims running. We have the DFS projections are out after practice and qualifying. yeah, wintherace.info. Check it out. You can follow me on X at wintheracepl. Be awesome. Yeah, it's been fun, man. I appreciate you having me on. This will be a fun race to watch on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one. I'm really excited, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. This has been the Friday morning betting show. You can follow me at Furlong Eric _ on X and Instagram, and barely post on TikTok, but it's on there too. And then Hot Pass Podcast, wherever you guys get your podcast, whether it's Spotify, Apple, fucking Google, whatever the hell people listen to now. And then it's Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. We're gonna get the visual out hopefully for tomorrow morning, if not a little bit later on in the day. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Let's cash a bag, and hopefully some late race restarts are in our favor for once.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you. Peace.